film.
Hey guys, we got to talk about this one movie. I just rewatched it after not seeing it for a very long time. It's Robert Altman's Shortcuts, which is sort of based on the writings of Raymond Carver. I haven't seen this movie in a very long time. I first watched it way back in early film school, where I had a teacher who really wanted to constantly push Robert Altman on me. Huge Robert Altman fan, so he was always, hey, if you're going to be a filmmaker, you got to watch Robert Altman. And I'll be honest, I haven't really been into much of his work. Kind of boring to me, not something I was very much into. I did like MASH, and that was probably about it. The Player, it was pretty good, but I understand what, the process of filmmaking was for this guy. So I wasn't so much into this way back in the day. On this rewatch, I sort of have another view, something a little bit different from back then. The movie itself is a huge kaleidoscope of stories. There are so many people in Shortcuts. This came out in 1993, but look at this fucking cast list. Andy McDowell, Bruce Davidson, Julianne Moore, Matthew Modine, Ann Archer, Fred Ward, Jennifer Jason Leigh, Chris Penn, Leela Taylor, Robert Downey Jr., Madeline Stowe, Tim Robbins, Lily Tomlin, Tom Waits is in this goddamn movie. Frances McDormand is in this movie. You have Laura Singer. You have Jack Lemmon, for crying out loud. You have Lyle Lovett and Huey Lewis. This movie has so much in it. It's almost too much, honestly. And I think maybe that's why it didn't really resonate with me early on. There's a lot to it. This movie is almost like 3 hours long. I actually think it's over 3 hours. There's a lot going on in this movie, but I would still highly recommend it just for the acting, and maybe that's where Robert Altman shines, that I'm finally learning. It isn't necessarily his style. I'm actually not into his style much at all. A lot of his stuff, he actually buys, when he makes a movie, he buys old film stock so that all of his movies that he's made looks like it was made in the 1970s. And I love 1970s films, but for a movie that I'm watching in 1993, right there with Dazed and Confused or other movies in that time, Pulp Fiction came out very close to that. You're watching this and you're like, wait, did they do this in the 70s? I'll tell you this, the performance that he commands in this movie is unbelievable. There are so many great scenes in this movie where the actors just go. There is a scene with Jack Lemmon and his son. Jack Lemmon is somebody who is not very, he wasn't a good father, and he kind of goes into his own little monologue, and it's great. So I think in this movie, it really just shows the power of acting. If you put a bunch of actors on stage, they will tell the story for you. And if the story sucks, it doesn't matter. It shouldn't matter. Honestly, the acting should really carry everything. And I think maybe that's where he was going with this, or where, he usually does, because, man, did he have a huge, great cast. I mean, this is Robert Downey Jr. He's like middle of the bill in this movie. And, he obviously was still one of the best, and still is one of the best. All of the performances were amazing in this movie. I feel like the story itself, it was more of a kaleidoscope. It was all these characters live in LA, and they never fully interacted, but there was like this sort of thing about how everybody sort of accidentally touches everybody, right? And we're all connected in a way. Maybe there was a lot of relationship things in this. There are all of the guys. First of all of the guys in this movie are terrible people. Every single one. Robert Downey Jr. is terrible. Tim Robbins is terrible. Tom Waits is terrible. Chris Penn is terrible. They're all shitty husbands and people. And the women just sort of have to deal, and they're kind of going on their own journeys as well, but it's all interconnected. It's a very complicated story. Shortcuts is a very complicated thing to really wrap around. I don't even honestly know what to say about the movie. Jennifer Jason Leigh is married to Chris Penn, but she does sex, phone calls. Back in the day, there's a lot of, 1-800 call me, for sex lines. And she did that while she's taking care of the kids, and Chris Penn is pissed at that. There's like a lot going on building, and the fact that it's 3 hours, I think kind of really drags you down as a viewer. And again, Robert Altman isn't one of my favorite directors, and I think it sort of misses a mark in a certain ways. However, the performances, though, I gotta tell you, unbelievable. Jack Lemmon, 100% is amazing. Lyle Lovett is amazing. Julianne Moore, this is very early Julianne Moore, and you can tell how absolutely intense she is as an actress. You see it in Magnolia, but this is pre-Magnolia, way pre-Magnolia. and she blows this scene out of the way. Her and Matthew Modine are married. She had some sort of affair. Matthew Modine is grinding and grinding and grinding at her to find out about this affair, and it blows up. And I don't know why this choice was made, but she's naked from the bottom down for this scene. I don't know how that happened or why, but her performance and his performance, that explosion of him constantly asking, what happened? What happened? What happened? And when she finally tells him, holy shit, what an explosive scene. It's a long time to get there, but once you get to the end, if you can get to the end of this movie, I think you get it. You like, there's this crazy release. There's so much anger. There's so much problems. There's so many things that they have to work out. Lily Tom, again, one of the most amazing actresses. She's married to Tom Waits, and Tom Waits is an alcoholic. These relationships are twisted and weird, and it's kind of funny, but it's kind of not. There's a lot of weirdness in this. I'm assuming this probably didn't get a lot of love when it came out because it was so bizarre and so much. There's so many people and so many characters and so much going on that I'm sure it was not well received. On my second watch of this is probably my favorite Robert Altman film. And believe me, I'm not a fan of Robert Altman at all, but this is probably his best, swan song. Like, I'm going to throw everything against the wall. Every performance, every actor in this, who now are considered probably some of the best actors of all time. But in 1993, this is like, hey, we're going to get everybody together. Sort of like in this weird Lollapalooza film, was absolutely fantastic. Story-wise, maybe it wasn't a great story. But if you're an actor and you want to know about acting, I think you should watch this movie because, man, they kill it. Every single character is on point. And maybe that's what Robert Altman was all about. He just let the actors do it and tell the story. And if the story was, it still actually was kind of entertaining.
He kissed you, didn't he? I want to know the truth.
We're just talking, right?
Yes, Marion, we're just